Hello, everybody, and welcome to Around the World with Duff. I'm Duff, and that still haven't got used to it. Is my little logo, and this is Around the World with Duff. So, for those of you that haven't joined us before, it's nice to be back. I haven't been on the show for quite some time. It's been a roller coaster ride for all of us. But for any of you that haven't seen the show before, this is me sitting down with people usually in different countries all around the globe, discussing their current situation, what's happening on the ground, and just connecting with people one-on-one without any media, any government, middlemen, middle women, middle whoever, and clouding the discussion. So I'm really excited that things are shifting and changing, and that some countries are actually ahead of the curve. Other countries, unfortunately, are not. And that's why I have to keep continuing with this show, to keep connecting with people and informing all of us of what's happening. So today is Friday, July 31st. Wow, time has gone fast. We're almost into August. It's the August long weekend here in Toronto, Canada. It's about 30 degrees Celsius in Toronto. Very hot and muggy. It's been a long stretch of heat wave. So I hope everyone's keeping cool wherever you are. There's been some real climate upheaval across the globe. But hopefully everyone's staying safe. So today we're going to discuss a few topics. I don't have any scheduled guests, but if you'd like to come on screen, you can see right there. I'll post. Let me just post this here as well in the comments. If you want to come on screen with me and just update everyone on what's happening in your part of the country, part of the globe, I would love that. We can open discussion. We can also chat in the comment section if you have questions or if you have information too on what is happening. Feel free to share it, and then I will share it on screen. But so I like to do a little COVID update off the top, because some people don't go on news, some people don't watch the news, some people actually just like to stay out of the loop of everything. So I like to just kind of first of all, this is where we're at. This is the globe. Let me just take out that little thingy majiggy there. So of course we're in Canada. Over the course of this show, I have visited quite a few countries: Thailand, Japan, Australia. Where else have we gone? To the Bahamas, of course, America, Mexico. Been in a few places in Canada, Spain, Portugal, England, and I think Sweden. So it's been a really nice ride. Talking to different people across the globe. So here, let's just get to COVID. Whoops, sorry, that's the wrong one. Oh boy, things have really shifted since the last time we were online. I think the global count was 11,000 or 11 million. Sorry, the last time we checked in. Now it's 17 million, my friends. Wow, that is just unbelievable. It's incredible, and almost 5 million in the U.S. The U.S. is really out of control, and we can discuss why we think that is. But the U.S. is really off the map, off the charts. So we've of course the global deaths have also increased exponentially. It's like almost at 700,000. That's horrible, and I just want to send out love and peace to all those families and people affected by this. It's not just older people now. It is younger people who are dying of this, and who it is really changed. So in Canada, we have 115,000 cases plus. We've 100,000 recovered, which I think is actually quite good, because the U.S. is not the same. Of course, we've got a lot of space in Canada. We we are not tightly packed. In some of the larger centers we are, but we have space on our side. Quebec is it's still very high for confirmed cases at almost 60,000. 50,000 have recovered, and almost 6,000 have died of it. In Ontario, we're at 39,000 confirmed cases, 2,883 per million people. 35,000 have recovered, which I actually think is quite good. And then deaths are 3,000. We've made masks mandatory now in the city of Toronto in all places, in apartment buildings and all buildings, and so I think that's great. We'll talk a bit more about that. Alberta is third, so my friends out there on the prairies, be careful. We thought we were out of the woods, but actually the graph, as you can see there, is still quite high. And is upticking. So, luckily 9,000 people have recovered in Alberta. BC is having an uptick as well. Saskatchewan is as well. Nova Scotia's gone down, which I love. But I think have been very good out there at sequestering and locking up. And Manitoba is up. I mean, really, everything's gone up, as you can see. So, yeah, here's the confirmed cases in Toronto. So 15,000, 13,000 have recovered plus, and we've had 1,150 deaths. So what's happening in, how do I get rid of that? Go away. What's happening in Ontario is today hey, Leanne, today we have moved to stage 3, which means that they have allowed people to eat indoors. Of course, you have to wear a mask, but my issue is, how do you wear a mask and eat and drink indoors? I personally am not going to be doing that. Not until we have zero cases. We do not. We had an uptick today in Toronto and Ontario. I think the last count, as I'm not sure if I showed it there, was 134 cases today confirmed. And a lot of people under 30, under 40. So it's not just our older generation anymore. This is becoming more community acquired, which is, I understand that restaurants have to open, but it's ultimately up to us, right? You guys, it's up to us to control this. The government can say whatever they want. The cities can say, yes, we're open. Come and watch a movie, which movie theaters open today as well, and gyms. But it's up to the people of that specific region. Oh my God, there's a dog dying outside my door. To control this. We can't, we're sort of going under the direction of people who want to get back in business, which I totally understand. We have to get back to business. Otherwise everything's just going to fold. And then where are we, right? We're already in a recession, I believe, some sort of weird holding pattern. But yeah, take care of yourselves, still socially distance, try and stay outside if you can and not eat inside. The beaches, I just saw a report today, the beaches in Toronto, like the Bluffs, which is a beautiful area of cliffs, and the water's really nice now to swim in, are packed. And so I see that the police are down there and the officers are thinking of shutting down the parking lots. Sorry. I haven't talked for weeks. So yes, we still need to be diligent. Do you guys hear that? It's like a dog dying outside. I hope everything is okay. But yeah, so just be careful out there. I was actually at the beach last week. I've been going to the beach, but I sequester way off to the side and try and find as much space as I can. I won't be a part of the large groups of people, even though they say it's very low risk when you're outside. I still see people very close. So I actually tweeted to the to the prime minister, not the prime minister, the premier and the mayor of Toronto and the health, the woman head of health, um, and I just said the beaches are packed. And of course, many other people had posted pictures that day and had also done the same thing I did, which is actually what we need to do. We need to keep informing our officials, our local officials, what's happening, right? Otherwise, things will just keep happening. Like backyard parties, they shut down a huge party in Toronto of, I think, over 200 people. So those things can't happen. Yes, have a bubble, whatever, but um, we have to keep reporting. And I think there's actually a number from what my friend said. I think you can dial 311 if you see something happening, an event happening that's not legal, because it actually is a bylaw now to not congregate like that. So I tweeted a thing from the beach, and it actually got posted on, a lot of people were sending me messages. It got posted on the national news, CTV news. So I was actually pretty proud of that. I try and be as good as I can. A lot of my friends say that I'm quite diligent, and I have been since the beginning. I've been wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. I actually wore 2 masks in the beginning because I felt, one mask just doesn't cut it. And of course, now everyone's wearing masks. So the people that were cutting me down, haters in the beginning, now, masks are mandatory. So, yeah, anyway, we just have to keep on it. So there's also a COVID today. They launched the COVID Alert app. So it's an anonymous app on your phone. You can download it. I just downloaded it, and it will inform you and send you messages as to when you are in the vicinity of someone with COVID, or if there's a place of business that you're in where COVID has been reported. It's completely anonymous. They don't take any of your information. They don't take actually any of your location even. GPS is dislodged. And so that's a good thing. It's just they want to keep tracing and tracking, which I really like. That's really part of this is the tracking, right? So that we can figure out where to pinpoint. I was talking to an infectious disease doctor a couple of days ago, and she said that she has actually, on her off times, been going to a lot of the shelters around town and been focused on people with mental health issues and people who are out of their homes, who are living on the streets. And they have been testing people diligently in the places around Toronto anyway. So I really like that. I thought that they were, I don't think a lot of people know that's being done. So that's a really great thing. So if you can download the COVID Alert app. There's a specific, I think it's Canada COVID. It's called. Let me just find it here. Yeah, COVID Alert Health Canada. That's what it looks like. If you can see that. And it should say Health Canada. Make sure it says Health Canada COVID Alert. And so, yeah, let me just see what it says here. It just says exposure notification. So together, let's slow the spread of COVID-19. It notifies you if someone you were near in the past 14 days tells the app that they've tested positive. It uses Bluetooth to exchange random codes with nearby phones. It doesn't use access or any location data. It alerts, works by determining how far away other phones are by the strength of their Bluetooth signal. So that's really great. And several times a day, it checks a list of codes from people who tell the app they've tested positive. So when you go to have your test done, they will give you a code, and then you put that in if you are positive. So if you've tested positive for COVID at the hospital, they will give you a code, and then you put that into the app, and that will inform other people that you've tested positive, just so other people are aware that they are around it, which I think it's fair. It's fair, right? if people want to take precautions, that's great. They can do that, and it checks you. Even though hopefully most people will sequester and quarantine if they've tested positive. But at least maybe they're in your building. Take extra precautions. Several times a day, it checks the list of code, and you'll get a notification if a code you received matches one of the positive codes. Okay, so that's just another way. I know a lot of people will freak out about that with conspiracy theories and what have you. But that's what's going to happen. Hey, if you want to join me on screen right now and give me an update of where you are, what you're doing, what's happening in your city, come on screen. I've posted the StreamYard link in the chat, I think on Facebook and YouTube. And you just click on that and join me on screen and we'll have a chat. So yes, there's also people I just heard on the news as well, people coming in to Canada from Alaska, using Alaska as the sort of like secret way to get in. And I was wondering, because I see a lot of my friends in BC claiming that there were US license plates. I'm not sure how, people with a Vermont license plate would end up in Alaska, but maybe they were there, on vacation when COVID happened and were stuck in Alaska and decided, I can get into Canada through BC, which is true. It's so close at the northern part of BC. Alaska is right there. It's very easy to hop on into the other side. So yeah, I heard that they are actually closing that off and monitoring Alaska, BC closer because of that. So that's why I think maybe there's an uptick in BC. We're not sure, because BC was doing really well. BC is on the west coast of Canada. And then they've had an uptick. So you got to wonder why that's happened, right? So I also like to tune in to my favorite country, Lesotho. So Lesotho is in South Africa. Oh my God. It's a landlocked country. I think 1.2 million people or something like that live in Lesotho. I've been monitoring Lesotho because my friend Fajr, who said that he had been there before, he was a guest on the show. Really interesting episode. If you want to watch that episode with Fajr, he is from Dubai and living in Vancouver, and he owns a touring company that went to Lesotho and said that it was a really interesting place. It's like the highest altitude city, and you had to really fight to get up into Lesotho. This is what Lesotho looks like, and every time I do this show, this photo of Lesotho brings me joy and peace. That's Lesotho. I mean, come on. It looks kind of like the Rio Grande, actually. The Rio Grande. These are the small villages way up in the higher mountains, elevations. And so I like, this is also Lesotho. It just brings me so much peace to just look at Lesotho for a few minutes, especially in the current situation. What I don't like is what's happening in Lesotho. So I like to tune in to these different countries. Let me just get rid of that. Go away. Go away. It won't go away. Okay. Anyway, Lesotho started with, I don't know, I think it was like 4 cases. And this was only a few weeks ago. They now have 604 cases. I know that they must have increased their testing, which is another reason why, cases go up so rapidly, because testing is increasing. But what I don't like is that they went from having 0 deaths to 13 now. So, it's not a big place, and it's also really hard to get to. So that's really unfortunate. My country of Lesotho is having to deal with that. And I, again, send out all the best to the people of Lesotho. Yeah, that just goes to show that this virus is not stopping. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, where you live. It's coming for you, and we can't let down. We have, as a human race, have got to fight and got to do this. I mean, we did it in 1918. And this, I think, is worse because it's airborne in an aerosol, which is different than 1918, I believe. And this also is morphing into different things, attacking our DNA, and it's going to be a while, my friends. Although, we have to also, like I said, keep track, because the government's going to tell us we got to get back to work. We got to get back, got to do these things. I know that they're commenting in Ontario about getting back to work. We don't want people on becoming reliant on CURB or CERB. I like to think it's CURB because it's Canadian Emergency Benefit. We have to, but there's no work to get back to, especially for us in the arts, like in theater and film and TV. Film and TV has started back in Ontario and Canada, and in the States too, with higher measures of security and safety. But we don't have anything to get back to. So you can, in 4 weeks or whatever it is, when, or I think it's 8, I can't remember the extension, we're going to get cut off. And some of us who lost our theater jobs, have nothing to go to. The smaller jobs, the sort of Joe jobs, are taken by people who are willing to work for $12 an hour or less than nothing. So we would all love, we would all love to get back to work, right, Tavo? Tavo is a friend of mine that I work with, and we work in the service industry, and we'd love to service people again. Not in that way. Leanne says they have now special tags visible from front and back if they are stopped in an area that is not on the way to Alaska. Oh, I see. They can now face. Wow, interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So that is true. People are coming and going. Leanne, are you in BC? You must be, I guess. Thanks for that information, Leanne. So tags. So are the tags on the back of their vehicles? That is not on the way to Alaska. I see. Okay. So where are the tags? Are they on the license plate? I'd love to know that. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, Tavo, and hope everything's good there, wherever you are. Are you in Toronto? So that's really been an interesting time. Now, if you guys have any questions, I would love it. If you have anything you want to chime in on, that would be great. I am looking for people to come on as guests this next week. So if you know of anyone that would like to be on as a guest, I would love to have you on. I'd appreciate it. And it would be a really great way to get back into things. We last talked to my cousin who was down in Bahamas, and she was saying, "Oh, hey, you're in Toronto." Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. You switched over to TTC. So they must have made some cuts, I guess, to the TTC. Probably. So I hope you get back to work, Tavo. But anyway, my cousin, she was saying that people who came into the Bahamas actually had to go into a serious quarantine for 14 days, even before they were able to. And this was like a facility, not in your home, where they sort of trust you to stay inside. And this is actually in a facility, locked in. You can't leave for 14 days. And as a result, their cases are quite controlled. So it was kind of good to hear. I wish, and it might get to this state in the US of A, where they're going to have to lock down like certain countries. There's been an uptick in Ontario, in Canada. We can't let our guard down. And there's also, I think, in China, there's a lot going on right now, my friends. So yes. So if you have any information about where you're at, I would love to hear from you. Yes, oh, yes, right, Leanne. As I said, I have a hard time keeping track of who's who from my different social media platforms. But anyway, thank you to Leanne, Hockey Nut. So it's yes on the windshield and back window if your vehicle has a U.S. license plate. Yeah, that's great to hear. That's really good. That's really good. Leanne gave me a recipe for pierogies the other day. I made pierogies from scratch, the Saskatchewan Mennonites recipe. And oh my God, Leanne, thank you so much. They were so good. They were the closest thing to my mom's pierogies as I could possibly get. I had like a challenging time, but then I clicked in, and when I remembered how my mom folded them, but the folding with the contents inside the pierogi is tricky. You have to connect the two. Pieces of dough in order to make it work. Oh, hey, Frankie, old friend Frankie is now. It says device is not connected, Frankie. So you have to, I think, turn on your camera. I'm not sure. But looks like Frankie's going to come on and chat with us. Anyway, thank you, Leanne, for the pierogi recipe. I've frozen them now. I think I have, 25 to 30 pierogies. It's going to last me for quite a while, maybe into the winter. So Tava said he's seen some kind of the government puts you in a hotel. Yeah. And I think my friend Fodger, who was getting from Dubai to Vancouver, I think in Dubai, India, they were locked down for quite some time, although India is also having a huge surge in numbers. So something went wrong in India. I kind of thought when he was saying things are okay in India way back a few months ago, I thought, I don't know. I think it's about testing, and it might be about not testing enough, because that's also the issue here in Canada. When I think of like, oh, sure, it's great, I'll go out and have dinner with people, but how many people are asymptomatic? How many people sitting in that restaurant where you're not wearing your mask have been tested? But that's the deal with this virus. It's such a catch-22. Like, you can get tested, but then, maybe 10 minutes later, someone breathes on you. Someone on your way home. Unless you go directly home, stay in your place, and we can get it at any time. So yes, you can be tested, but then you can contract it again. Even if you were positive, you can, recover, and also, the virus will make a resurgence and you'll get sick again. I've heard stories of people who got sick 2 or 3 times. Even a nurse actually who tested positive, then negative, then positive. I mean, it's insane. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. But I know that I really believe in the face mask thing, because I was talking to Betsy in Thailand, and she was saying, and in Japan as well, even though they've had an uptick too, because it's built into their culture to wear the masks, because that's the way they operate. The countries operate with allergies and pollution. A lot of Chinese and Japanese, actually, people before this in Toronto, even I'd see people on the subway with masks on. I was like, why is that person wearing a mask? But they sort of had the the upper hand when it came time. Oh, Frankie's back. Frankie, it says your devices are not connected, so I don't know what's happening. It says your guests will need to connect their mic and cam before you can add them to the stream. So you need to press the button that says connect camera and mic, Frankie, and then it will come on, just so you know. But Frankie's in New York in Hell's Kitchen. And actually, my friend Don is also in New York. I was hoping he'd come on at some point. And I'd love to get an update on what's happening in New York because, as you know, they did very well. People were really good and diligent. But that, is just the way New Yorkers are. They band together, I believe, because LA, on the other hand, is all about people not really banding together. No offense to my friends who live in LA, but it's just a little bit more spread out. And there's, you don't really walk out of your place. And although I did find LA quite friendly, it's just a different lifestyle. But California is also having to deal with quite an uptick in cases. So I don't know what happened to Frankie. He keeps coming and going and going and coming. Frankie was assistant cruise director on Princess Cruises on one of my last, I think, cruises. I can't remember now. It's been so long. I was going through some old Princess Cruises video, which I'll be posting. I'm in the process of transferring it all now to digital. And I just forgot what that life was like. And as I was watching, I had two guests on, my friend Dinah and Sandra, who was a guest on this show a few weeks ago, came on as my guests at $15 a day. They could come on. And I think we were doing Florida, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, St. Kitts, Dominica. It was a beautiful island down there. And I realized how incredible is that. I was able to take my friends, scuba diving and snorkeling and show them these huge buffets, food on the ship. And then they got to watch the shows that I did. I think I did 2 or 3 shows on that cruise on the Ocean Princess, I believe it was. But anyway, I just realized what an amazing life that was, and a period of life. And also on cruise ships, we were also hit with the norovirus quite a few times. I remember being in Alaska and norovirus hit hey, Tara. Hi, honey. Tara and I also work together with Tavo. We used to anyway. Hope you're doing well, Tara. Yeah, and I remember being in Alaska and the norovirus hit the Regal Princess, I think it was, one of their older ships. And I don't remember like drastic measures being taken, like us being locked into our rooms or anything. I just remember them disinfecting the ship like crazy. And I think sending home people from the, yeah. So, yeah, I guess Tavo got laid off, Tara. It must have been. You guys could come on and chat with me if you like. Just follow the post here. I'll post it again. But yeah, living the unemployed life. Yes. Living la vida loca. Tara, I have been meaning to ask you, have you been working? Have you gone back at all and done any small jobs or anything? I know that some service jobs are coming through. I wanted to share with you guys an app as well called Staffy.com, or just Staffy, Staffy. Oh, Tavo said they laid off 500 workers. Wow. That's heavy duty. That's a lot of people being laid off. So there's Frankie. Let's bring in. He said that he's been laid off since May 23rd. So that's. I'm sorry that you had to do that. You did 2 jobs. Okay, that's good, Tara. Let's bring Frankie. He's in Hell's Kitchen in New York City, and I'd love to talk to him, see how things are going. I think he's on the 50th floor or something. He'll let us know. Hey, Frankie.
Oh my God, I finally got this working.
What happened? Are you okay?
I have to tell you how traumatic it is to try to. My computer's horrible. It does not allow me to do things. So I figured I could do this on the phone, and it seems to be working. So
Oh,
that's
good, good,
good.
good. I think we had this issue last time,
Okay,
didn't
and
we?
it's true. It is true. I am on the 40th floor
Oh,
in
40th
Hell's
floor.
Kitchen. Here, I can show you the view. Wait, I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Wait, let's
Give
see if I
people a
can do
view.
this. Hold
You have an
on.
amazing view, I
How do I?
remember.
Right,
Just
let's
turn
see
it
if I can
around.
do this right. Hold on.
Turn it around,
Okay,
baby.
wait.
Turn it around.
Okay, now hold on.
Oh
Hi.
my God, look at that. You have like, is that the Hudson River?
Yes.
Wow, look at that. Oh my God, you guys.
It's
New York, in New York. Wow, that's beautiful. What's that big building right there, Frankie?
which one are you talking about? The big
That's sort of
black one?
glassy. Yeah, the big black one.
Yeah, that's a big building on Theater Row between
Oh,
9th and 10th Avenue on 42nd Street. But can you see the edge? That's the newest building in Hudson Yard.
oh, I see.
Can you
Which one?
see
The
it?
tall one?
It's the tall one with the there's like a triangle sticking out of it.
Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah. Wow. The Edge.
That's the largest. It's an outdoor observation deck, and it's up 100 stories in
Oh
Hudson
my
Yard.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would shit
And
myself.
then you see there's
Oh
and
yeah. Your
there's
neighbors are right there.
that's looking. I don't know where that.
Oh, oh, we lost Frankie. Oh, that's too bad. He'll come back. His connection is sometimes very shaky, but he'll come back. I want to ask him about. There's a new theater down by the um, down by the World Trade Center that is they were building last time I was there a few months ago, just before all of this hit. And I want to ask him how that's coming along. Hello, MB. Thanks for joining. Once again, if anyone wants to come on, like with Frankie, and just say hi and tune in and give us an update on what's happening wherever you are. Frankie was calling us from Hell's Kitchen in New York. Anyway, yeah. I think MB, I think you are in, where are you? Is that PEI, or I can't keep track of where people are. Anyway, back to Tava and Tara. The Tava and Tara show. Yeah, it is terrible. Got to keep, that's good. Yeah. So with the curb, if you make under a certain amount of money, you can stay on curb, which is a good thing. I was reading today, though, the nightmare of taxes for us when it comes tax time this coming year. Yeah, TNT. What's going to happen? MB, would you come on screen with us? If you're in the US, I'd love to talk to you about where you are, what state you're in, literally. So if you want to click on the link, I'll post it again here. I'd love for you to come on screen and just chat with me about your state in the US. Oh, yes, Mary, right. See, everyone's got quite a few different names. Mary is also Ms. MBR on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in anyway, Mary. And if you want to click on the link there, I'd love to chat with you about what's happening. Tara said she really wanted to get on EI, but they make you take curb first. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So yeah, I think it's under 1,000, right, Tara, that you have to make. And then they're also talking about changing all of that, though, and taking off a percentage of your wage that you make and still keeping you on curb. I'd love to find out more about that. Yeah. changing as of fall. No Tavo. She's been on curb. It's the Tara and Tavo show. Oh, there's Mary. Okay, let's talk to Mary and see what's happening where she is. Hello, Mary.
Can you see me? I'm in the kitchen.
Hello, Mary.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but I'm getting like a feedback.
I'm getting like a feedback.
Okay.
You might have to put
out here.
You might have to
headphones
put
on.
I'm out in the middle of the woods.
Oh my God, amazing. Where
Oh
are
my
you?
God, amazing. Where are you?
I'm out in the woods. I'm the one who lives in a tent. Here, look.
That's awesome.
See my tent?
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
What state are you in?
Here
Mary?
where I have a better signal.
What state are you in?
I'm Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. And are you
Yes.
in a tent because you lost
Are you
your housing?
in a tent because you lost your housing?
No, I'm in a tent because I'm saving for a car.
Good girl.
Good girl.
That's what I should do.
And I like it.
That's what I should do.
Yeah. I was tenting last week and I actually found it
I was
really
tenting
incredible.
last week and I actually found it really incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well,
Except maybe during thunderstorms.
Yeah,
Well,
right. You need like a huge
yeah,
tarp or
right.
tent, right?
You need like a huge tarp or tent, right?
Yes, I have a big tent and I have a big kitchen and a big over all of it.
Wow,
I don't
that's
get wet.
amazing. Right.
I just don't like
good.
the noise.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Mary, I'm hearing like my own voice
Mary,
echoed back.
I'm hearing
so
like my own voice echoed back. So
I'm not sure if everyone out there is hearing that
I'm
as
not
well.
sure
but-
if everyone out there is hearing that as well. But
Do you
don't
have
know.
headphones, Mary?
You're coming in clear, so
do you
it's
have
probably.
headphones, Mary?
What's that?
Do you have headphones?
Do you have headphones?
Yeah, but I gotta go back to the kitchen to get them. Hang on.
Okay, I'll bring in Frankie and I'll come back to you in a second.
Okay, I'll bring in Frankie and I'll come back to you in a second.
All right, so good.
Frankie.
Frankie.
Yes, hello, Duff. Sorry, I guess we lost contact on the balcony.
Oh, we always lose contact on
Duff,
the
can
balcony.
you hear me?
Oh, we always lose contact on the balcony.
Hold on, I gotta somehow.
You know, I am
mute
hearing
Mary.
an echo of your voice or my voice.
Oh, your voice, my boy.
Oh my God, now I'm hearing everybody.
Headphones.
Oh my God, now I'm hearing everybody.
Hold on, Frankie.
Hold on, Frankie.
You know what, Frankie? Why don't you
I'm
go ahead and
holding,
tell
I'm
us
here.
what? Okay, let's wait until Mary gets her headphones. There.
Well, can
Mary,
you hear
you
me?
there?
I don't even know if you can hear me or not.
Yes. Yeah, I can.
Okay. Do you want me
Okay.
to talk?
Yeah. So what's happening in New York?
Well, I have to tell you, well, as you have seen on the news, as the world has seen, life is topsy-turvy everywhere. And here it's, there's all those things you're hearing about are happening. But the thing I find that's important for all of us is that we just, yes, there's a lot of media out there.
Mhm.
I'm the type that does not want to be exposed to all that
Yeah.
because it'll make you crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy enough. And then to be hearing all these different people and their theories and what they think and what they don't think and what should be and what shouldn't be, it can drive you, just drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
what I do is I'm thrilled because there has been so much wonderful entertainment online. All the shows from the Shakespeare Globe and the National Theater and Lincoln Center. So I am just so happy to be watching all these wonderful things. And believe me, it fills the day. In fact, I find that I don't have time. At 1 a.m, I'm still thinking, oh, I missed that. I want to hear about that seminar or that whatever, you know. So,
yeah.
I mean,
and
I think just want to say from a psychological point of view, I think people should just do things, watch things, look at things online that make you happy, not the craziness of the world around us, because that's going to be happening anyway.
Or live in a tent like Mary. Right?
Or that, exactly.
Mary, are you watching anything? Are you able to watch do you watch TV or any sort of media out there in the woods? I think you're muted, just so you know. I don't know how to unmute. Oh, wait. Okay. Go ahead, Mary. What is your entertainment, Mary, out there in Pennsylvania?
Oh, where is she in Pennsylvania?
She's in the trees in a park. Where are you, Mary?
Well, I'm from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
You are? Oh, I didn't know that.
That's where I was born and raised.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so that's
Mary.
Which part of Pennsylvania she's in.
Oh, wow. Mary, what part of Pennsylvania are you in? I can't hear you for some reason. Weird. We can't hear her. Oh, this stupid thing. That's so funny, Frankie.
It's tricky.
Yeah, there's always technical issues with this.
But have you been watching all the entertainment? Have you been enjoying all the entertainment? Plus, there's all the entertainment. Have you been enjoying it? Uh-oh. Plus, there's...
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh, echo time.
Yes,
There's
but we
Mary.
have echo now, Mary.
Oh, echo. There's Mary.
Yes.
You can hear
Echo
me now?
now.
Take the microphone off. It keeps telling me that my browser has lost the microphone.
Oh.
And then you can't hear me.
All right. Do you want to go and come back?
Oh.
Duff, ask Mary which part of Pennsylvania she's in.
All right. Do you want to go and come back? Maybe we'll...
It need to refresh it.
Duff, ask Mary which part of Pennsylvania she's in.
Corey, Pennsylvania. It's about 45 minutes south of Erie, PA.
Wonderful.
Mary.
Did you hear that?
Wonderful.
Yes. Oh,
Mary.
Why don't you go and come back? Because
Yes.
there's an echo and it's like
Yes.
the worst thing.
Oh, why don't you go and come back? Because there's an echo and it's like the worst thing.
Okay.
Poor
And
Mary.
We'll bring Mary. We'll bring Mary back because I'm really interested to know what she is. What entertains her. But like, so Frankie, it's amazing that you're like able to tune into these things. Well, we are like for free. A lot of stuff is for free.
Yeah,
right?
and I was wondering what happened to you because I subscribed and I get a notice when you're on and you haven't been on lately.
I know. Yeah. I had a bit of I went camping. I actually did what Mary did and I just got out and got my tent and I left the city. I was just done. So
good for you. Good for you.
I went off the grid.
Again, it's important that everyone figures out what makes them more relaxed, more, at peace and do those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as entertainers, you're right. Hardly anyone's working, but
yeah.
But you know what? There's so many seminars. These Screen Actors SAG-AFTRA union puts out acting seminars, and there's casting directors and how to self-tape and how to do this and that. In fact, there's almost too many of them. But
yeah, there is. I kind of lost track.
Here and there.
Yeah.
Like
free coachings. Well, I was doing some free voiceover coaching with one of the top casting women in Toronto. That kind of thing wouldn't happen, right? And in like a normal
You know what? This is what I was going to say. We need to concentrate on COVID has happened, but there are a lot of good things that are coming out of it that would not have happened if we didn't have this situation, Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's Mary again. We're going to talk to Mary.
Yay, Mary. Yay.
Mary.
Mary.
They'll be echoey. No? Are you there? Oh, we can't hear her now. Hold on. Let me unmute you, Mary. Sorry, Frankie.
No, that's okay. It's interesting.
Can't unmute your guest. The mic isn't connected, it says.
Yeah, it's a problem because she's in a remote location, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. There's some
And
issue. There's some issue with like mics, and you have to have the right browser sometimes too.
yes, yeah. Well, I mean, I had to go into StreamYard to talk to you. If I was watching you, my computer's terrible, and I would be seeing it in a delay. So,
okay.
yeah. So I'm on my phone now, and we're in sync. So that's
yeah.
good. You know.
No, that's. I wanted to ask you, Frankie. When I was in New York last time, they were building a new theater down by the World Trade Center. It was like some sort of dome thing you enter, or like a square that you enter under, like a UFO almost. What is that?
Well, you're not talking about an actual theater, or talking about that. I forget what it's called. It's like a big shopping mall, right next to the World Trade Center.
Yeah, it
has a fancy name to it.
Yeah, is it finished yet, or?
Yeah, it's a what it is basically a transportation hub underground. So a lot of trains connect underground. It's then this massive shopping mall with restaurants and shops.
Right.
And the Ocular, am I remembering this? Ocular, it has a name like that. And it's very beautiful. And there's the ceiling is like split, like open, so you can look up to the world through the Trade Center, the tower.
Oh, no, this was actually, they were about to build it, or was being built. It's actually like I think it's actually like a square building, and you entered underneath like a UFO, like it's being built. It was like proposed for the area or something.
Do you know what? I'm sure everyone can Google that. They know more than I do.
Okay.
Being in my little tower here on the 40th floor, people call me from outside from all over the country to tell me what's happening in New York City.
Yeah. Oh, here's Tavo. I'm going to bring in Tavo, Frankie.
Sure.
He'll join
us. Bring in
us.
whoever.
That's the great thing about this.
Why not?
Hey, Tavo.
Hey, Duff.
Frankie.
How are you, buddy?
Not bad, and you?
That's the great thing about this.
Oh, now we have the same issue, the echoey thing.
Hey, Duff.
How are you, buddy?
Not too bad, and you?
That's the great thing about this. Oh, now we have the same.
Am I creating echo again?
Yeah.
Not too bad, and you?
Oh my Lord.
Echo again?
We're having that same issue.
Cell phone or on internet?
Are you on cell phone or internet?
We're having that same issue.
Cell phone or on internet?
Are you on cell phone or internet?
I'm on a laptop.
I don't know why some people like Frankie.
Yeah, I'm
Are you on cell phone?
Okay.
You know what? I can go. I don't have to be here. You can get them on. You get rid of me. I can talk to you another time. No problem.
No, actually, you're the only person that doesn't have any echo. I don't know why. I think it's because you're using Chrome.
Well, that's a good reason to stay on.
You're the only one eligible to be a guest right now.
Wow, I'm lucky today, huh?
I would love to talk to Tavo, and I think Tara wants to come on, but I can have 10 people on, Tara, if you want to come on and join us. But yeah.
If you want me to leave, no problem.
No. I actually love this. I love it when it's like I'm an Aquarian. I love bringing people together and talking.
Duff, we have to talk about the old days on the cruise ship.
Well, let's do it. I was actually just watching some old footage of, I think I had 2001. I had a show from then. I had like Caribbean Dawn Princess. I don't remember which. I think we were on the Royal Princess together.
You know what? I was 20 years on board probably, I don't know, exactly. 10 different princess ships. So I don't remember what year was what ship. Yeah.
Yes, we like Frankie. They like you, Frankie. They like you. Tara, you just have to click on the link that I sent on Facebook, or I just posted it here again. That's all you did, right? No, she wants to come and join us and talk, but she doesn't know how.
It's not easy.
Well, no, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so I think, yeah, do you remember who the cruise director was? That would actually help.
Do you know what?
Don't remember.
Here's the thing. I was at sea for 20 years.
Yeah.
I put things in boxes, and I have 10 boxes sitting at my sister's home in Orlando, Florida.
Mhm.
I have 3 more boxes in LA still. Once I get all those things, I will have access to see who I worked with, when, where, when,
Right.
and how, and then I can answer your question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I found all of my contracts from 1995 to 2006 or something like that. So I know exactly the dates, so we could compare, and we're like, oh, okay, that must have been this ship or that ship. But sometimes because it was an emergency fill-in, I left within 2 days and I didn't have a contract.
Right.
It just was like, we need you here, blah, blah, blah.
Right, you were popping in and out.
Yeah, yes,
Always.
per se.
No, but those things happened a lot. As a deputy cruise director, they would say, "Oh my God, someone can't make it, or they missed the ship, and somebody else is flying in the next port." And it was like a revolving circus of entertainers and the craziness of it all. Yeah,
Now,
but somehow it worked.
I want to ask you, Frankie, do you remember any time when the ship was like infected with norovirus or anything? Do you have any stories about that?
Yeah. Well, yes. Princess was, I would say, pretty well prepared for that.
Yeah.
When it started to happen, and this is a natural thing. It's not uncommon. It happens in places where groups of people are together. Yeah. We had codes green, yellow, and red, and you'd go into the different stage alerts. And we would, if it was happening, they would keep it under control.
They wouldn't really tell the passengers,
you can't stop someone.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They wouldn't really tell the passengers, though, would they? They would just sort of like figure out where it was outbreak.
Well, no, they would. You know what? No, what they would do, one of the procedures was at the buffet, you could no longer grab your own food. It was somebody handed it to you. So it wasn't hidden from the passengers, and they wouldn't make announcements for precautions. But it's a thing that happens. Again, the media wants to blow it all up and make it into a epidemic. Well, now they have a good reason to have a pandemic, but I'm telling you, the media. I don't care which side of the fence you're on, or you're in between, or you bounce back and forth. It makes anyone crazy.
Frankie, we're going to bring in Tara now. And she's going to join us.
Okay, but if you need me to leave, just wave goodbye and I'll leave. Okay, no problem.
I think Tara loves you. Actually, she's a fan, so we're gonna bring her in. I work with Tara. Oh, and Tava's there too. We'll bring in both of them because they obviously are on the Frankie.
Hello.
Ta-da! It's a Frankie party.
Echo or no echo?
No echo.
Woo!
Tava.
Echo? No echo?
No echo. Oh my God. We did it.
Hi, Frankie.
No echo. No echo. We got the no echo.
Hi, Def.
This is Frankie, Tara, and Tavo.
We're in the show. I'm so excited.
Yay.
You're in the damn show. So Tara and Tavo, I worked with in Toronto in the what would you say, service industry? Is that what we would call it?
Events. Those fabulous events.
With all sorts of fabulous people.
Exactly. And Frankie was the assistant cruise director on Princess Cruises when I was there for quite a few years. So you said 20 some years,
you
right?
just demoted me. You demoted me. I was deputy cruise director, second in charge.
Deputy.
Ooh.
He wore the full uniform and everything. He's so good. He's such a great leader and entertainer too.
Hey, Duff, I just want to tell you something funny. One of the first jobs when I moved back to New York, 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I got cast in a period piece, from the 1970s. I forget the name of the movie, but it was a 70s style, and my hair was long. Don't look at my hair now because it's a mess, but it was long. And after the hairdresser did my hair up, for right before the scene, she looked at me and she went, "You look like you've just stepped off the Love Boat." And I couldn't believe when she said that. I was like, "Oh my God, that's what I've been on for 20 years." It was the craziest thing.
If she only knew. Frankie, maybe you could tell them your story about having your hair cut off on TV. Were you on Rachel Ray or something like that?
Okay.
What?
The Rachel Ray Show. Do you all know that show? It's like a daily, for whatever you call it, variety, or she likes cooking and they have interviews and guests.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
for the last 5 years, I'd say from 2014 to 19, I was back here in New York City. I'm a character actor. I was like, okay, what am I going to do to get work? Because I realized once I got off the cruise ship and got back into real life, I realized how old I was. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not young. Because, on the cruise ship, you tend to think you're young. The average age range. I started playing a series. Yeah, I started playing a series of, I let my hair grow, and then I let my beard grow, and I kept
really
getting
long.
cast. And I sort of,
That's
really, but little by little, and the beard got longer and longer, and I started playing homeless people and old hippies and drug addicts and crazy people.
That's what I strive for.
I made myself look like that. So it got to the point where my hair was so long, and Will Ray found out, and they said, "Do you want a makeover?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it's time." So they turned me back into, clean cut. The ironic part is any cruise ship passenger who watched that episode, they all said to me, they called me and said, "Well, you just look like Frankie from the cruise ships now," and it's true. They just, But of course, now I've let it slip back, and my hair's longer again, and my beard is. But I'm not doing this on purpose. I think I'm just lazy or something.
It's the COVID. Anyway. It's the COVID,
COVID.
Even Tara has a bit of a beard now.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, can you see it?
No.
I've been letting myself go. You should see my legs right now.
Well, those Italians,
bravo.
Ray was probably so excited to get a person looking like that on their show. Like that they.
Right.
Their shows usually crave that stuff, right? Like,
I actually messaged
makeover.
him. Yeah, I messaged Frankie and I said, "Is that real?" Like, because I hadn't seen him for years, right? And I was like, was that like a planned thing? Was it fake? And she was just like setting it up. And he's like, "No, that's me, dude. That was like it really happened."
Awesome.
And Tavo,
if you want, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, if you want to see it, it's actually, she has her own YouTube channel. All you have to do is put in 3 words: Rachel Ray, actor, makeover. If you just put that in, Rachel Ray, actor, makeover, those 3 words, it'll pop up and you'll see like a 5-minute edited version of what actually happened that day.
We'll have to watch that for sure.
Awesome.
Tavo, where are you?
I'm just sitting at home, hanging out.
Where?
High Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And are you with your girlfriend out there?
Where is Hyde Park?
Oh, yeah.
West end of
Not
Toronto.
England.
No. In Toronto.
It's kind of like a small Central Park, Frankie. It's really beautiful. It's all natural. And it's, there's 2. Well, that's actually, I think, maybe the biggest park in Toronto, right?
I think so. Yeah, we have a zoo
Natural.
even.
Oh, you do?
No.
It was closed off though during COVID. They wouldn't let anyone in the park.
Yeah, I think I haven't been there, but I think they just reopened it.
Right.
I should go for a walk today. Get out of the house.
Because the cherry blossoms, Frankie, they have these cherry blossom trees, kind of like Washington, and it's just like the most beautiful thing. But people were climbing them during COVID, and they shut it down fast.
There's even I go for a bike ride, and there's busloads and busloads of Asian tourists that just it's an absolute zoo outside the zoo down there.
Really?
Yeah.
Many zoos. And Terry, you're at home in your backyard, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
In
It's a little bit
Toronto.
of a view back here too. Well, I'm in the East End, so you got like West End and East Ender, and then Central Core with Duff McDonald is his
Yeah.
Were
core,
you
right?
you're what
In the
like well?
core.
Are you
Kind of.
Wellesley and where are
Me?
you, Duff? Yeah.
No, I'm in the northern part, which is
Oh,
kind of
you're-
like Upper Manhattan.
I guess yeah, you're upper Toronto.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're young. and
Tabo, so Marissa, did Marissa start today her job as a baby nurse?
she had her first
She-
day
she-
yesterday.
Okay, and is she
Yeah.
in the baby department in pediatrics or?
So she's in a pediatric hospital, but the
Okay.
pediatric hospital also has like a sort of labor and delivery ward as well.
Okay.
So she's like after delivery, they get sent to her ward.
So
Awesome.
I want to.
How'd it go? How'd her
Yeah.
first day go?
Good. I think at the end of the day, it was like they were just about to go home, and the nurse was like, "Can you just put a saline lock in this patient?" And she was like, kind of had a bit of a brain fart, but she said everyone's really nice, and it's like she's the only nurse that got hired there that didn't go to McMaster,
Okay.
and she also didn't have any experience in nursing school with pediatrics or any of that. All of her placements were in geriatrics and like general surgery and kind of not
It's the
very
same.
exciting.
Pediatric,
come, people go.
geriatric.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody
Both
had a
kids.
baby.
Sounds
Everyone's
good.
had a baby.
Hey,
And-
Duff, excuse me, Duff. I love you guys, but I gotta go because I
Okay.
realized I have another call I need to be on. And
Okay,
I didn't
Frankie.
realize this was even going to happen. But let's
Me neither.
get together another time and we'll
Really
get some
nice to
other
meet you.
people from our cruise ship days, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for
In
sure.
costume, please.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
do
Thank,
that.
thank
And
you for
nice
the New
meeting you
York
both.
update.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you.
Oh, you're welcome. Talk to you
Stay
later.
safe.
Bye.
Stay safe. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay,
on
we'll
the
see if there's
40th
an echo
floor.
with 3 people.
I don't think so. Oh, that's
Or
even
like-
better. Look at
Wow.
that. Ooh.
I'm in the middle.
Where is the infamous Mr. Dave Lovell?
Oh,
Yeah, where
Dave
is
Lovell's
your-
been. He's also on a Zoom call. He's become family members with a Freak Fam, and most of them are American, but I guess they're from all over. So Sophie Tucker, really interesting if you guys want something like awesome to listen to. But at 1:00 they do like a live DJ set, kind of singing DJ. And then they created about around the 100th day of quarantine this Zoom like room where anybody can go, and
Oh.
they've called it the Freak Fam.
Oh,
And so Dave's about like 24 hours a day on this
really?
Zoom call.
And what is it?
Yeah,
Like a,
which is-
a party, a DJ
It's just
party?
anybody anybody can go in. So they
Oh.
DJ on like all the mediums like Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and then like they just decided one day to like, okay, let's do a Zoom where people could like dance to the DJ set. But what's
Oh.
been happening is people just stay on it for like 24 hours a day.
Right.
So it's
Yeah, so that's-
DJ David Lovell's
on that right
spinning
now.
his
No,
spinning
they're
his
just
music.
like talking. one day, one girl talked for at least about half an hour about her hair, and
Maybe
Yeah,
you should walk into the room wearing like almost nothing. Like, hey, Dave.
I did actually one day
Honey?
I went on the Zoom call and I was like just painting. I wasn't really interacting. I
Yeah.
was painting. I've interacted here and there, just that I don't want to be on it 24
So
hours a day.
so people can just tune in to watch you do whatever you're doing, like Ed TV.
Yeah,
or-
so just talking. I mean, it's a very like accepting group. There's
Oh.
like and I mean there was the hey David. That's the other David. So there's
Oh.
David 2 doors down from me.
Oh,
Not
hey, David.
Not David Worth.
He's
Dave Worth.
you'd like him. He's looking good today.
Maybe our viewers would like to have a little.
Yeah.
This show just took a turn to. Remember, we're streaming live. He's gonna be like, "Oh, Tara's on this show. Oh, she's watching me."
Um,
Um,
yeah, so
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
So
just
what's that called again?
yeah.
The Dave Show?
So Sophie Tucker, like
Sophie,
SOFI,
not
and then space
not
Tucker
the old Sophie Tucker.
TUCKER.
Oh, okay.
No. New Sophie, young Sophie Tucker.
Soph.
And so if you follow them, then they put a link into the Zoom when they go
Ah.
on at 1. But
Oh, I see.
once you like the link doesn't change, so it's always the same link. So actually, to be honest, you could just join anytime you have this link, and the password's Freak Fams. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
so he's been doing a lot of freak famming.
He's been there for like
Um,
what, an hour and almost an hour and a half.
Oh no, they'll go all night. Like
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Wow.
There's people on it all day, all night, and I mean it's a lot of people that have been like lost their jobs. Some people are still working, and they'll even go on at work. But
All right.
it's a lot of people that I think. I mean, like there was a really emotional moment yesterday when Sophie Tucker actually joined the room. Like Sophie Tucker's not always in the room, and it was a guy from Thailand that was talking about how like without this Sophie Tucker feed that they started, like he was at the end of his rope.
Wow.
And
Really?
so he
Yikes.
had a really emotional post, and just about he said like the last few weeks have just been so bad, and
Thanks.
so they got emotional. Everybody got emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's just been something, as your friend was saying, Frankie was saying, you know, there's certain things that certain good things that COVID has brought about that have been very helpful for people.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Or like Mary living in a tent, saving up for a car. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I mean,
almost at that point.
Our car just finally hit the dust, so it's like I'm almost at that point because I
Yeah.
had my savings plan organized that come September I could buy a car, but then you know I was the breadwinner for a bit, but then I got laid off. So
Right. Like
Yeah.
what
But you know what,
what's gonna
Tavo, like,
happen?
but Tavo, like you guys will like, you know, at least Marissa now just like got a good job. I imagine
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah,
And like, you know, you swap off on each other, right? I have a friend
Yeah,
that
of
she's
course.
a flight attendant, and
so she has
if she wasn't
absolutely
being a flight attendant, she'd be in restaurants.
yeah.
And her partner doesn't want her working because of the chance of catching COVID. And
Well,
you know, she was saying like, "Oh, I don't really feel comfortable with this." But I said, if tables were turned, you would be doing the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be helping out in the same manner. So
I mean, yeah. At least like I was
Dave's
working.
been asking me a lot. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, at least I was working and Marissa's working, and at least I have CERB, so at least I have something, because a lot of people have
Yeah.
absolutely nothing and they're struggling just to even
Yeah.
put something
Yeah.
on the table. So I mean,
Yeah, I was
Yes.
talking to our friend Wade the other day, and he's not on CERB and not on anything. Like he didn't qualify. So like some people we think that, you know, everyone's covered. Not everyone's covered.
No.
Like it depends on your
Yeah.
situation, right?
Even one of the guys that we worked with, because he was on EI for a little bit and then was kind of working under the table, but then went to work on the table. He came just shy, like by $500 of what you have to make to get the CERB. So
yikes.
and like
That's
he,
sad.
you know, he was laid off from a job before all that, so he can't really. I mean, EI only works. So now I heard today that they want to switch, like stop giving the CERB, and then
And they
you
want
have
to switch
go
to
on
EI.
But the last time
Yeah.
I checked, unless they changed this, for independent contractors, you have to be registered with EI for 12 months, and also you have to pay it in your taxes. So
Yeah.
like I pay
Pay into
EI in my taxes, but the rule used to be, now unless they've taken that rule away because of what the situation is, but you had to like register with EI, wait 12 months, and then you could claim EI. I don't know
When
if that
we
rule exists now.
with Dave, like when we got our T4As, did that contribute into EI, or that's something you have to do
No.
by yourself separately?
No, because the T4A is for contractors, but if you like, your accountant should be making your EI contribution, or you
Okay.
if you do your own taxes. It depends. I
Yeah.
guess, right?
Claiming it or whatever, right?
So,
Yeah.
so like even CPP, like I pay CPP for myself and as for myself being a business. And even my accountant was like, do you realize you're paying CPP twice? But the thing is, because I'm not employed by a company, I'm self-employed, I have to pay it that way.
Yeah.
Now, will I ever get any kind of results from that? Probably not. We don't get benefits. So,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah.
And like, how is that? How is Melissa? How is she dealing with like working in the hospital and during all of this?
So I mean, she's in. I think it's. I don't know if they've even had any confirmed cases at that hospital, but she's in like a unit that's not really at all high risk or really any risk for having COVID. So they're given like one of like the blue, just generic medical masks.
Yeah.
One per day, and then when they go home, they're given a brown paper bag with another mask. And she actually they have a thing now online that they do their screening online. So we got her this, it's a dual forehead or ear thermometer. So she does her assessment
Rectal.
every night.
Oh.
So it's
Cabo does that.
She goes online every night to like the Hamilton Health Sciences website, and she does the thermometer test. It says, was your temperature above 38 degrees? Do you have a cough? Have you come in contact? Have you left the country? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, maybe it'll get to the point where we all have to have thermometers with us all the time, like digital, like,
I mean, it wasn't, I think it was on Amazon, and it wasn't even, it was fairly, like, it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap, but it was like reasonable. And I think it's not a bad thing to have.
Well, yeah. I have one. I have a digital one that you put under your tongue, and whenever I feel like, I think it's good to have those because for your own like state of mind.
Well, like that.
But also, so how does that work if you are asymptomatic?
Well, exactly.
So if you're asymptomatic, you wouldn't be having a fever, right? So I've had like a couple of days where I've been nervous, like, oh my God, do I have COVID? And I was like, no, I have seasonal allergies. I can feel them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But so what I'm concerned about is in September, when that is like cold season, the common cold, flu. Like, how are we going to distinguish between
what's allergies and what's
somebody
COVID?
has COVID or somebody just has a cold? Like, or like, what about people with chronic coughs? Like, Dave Worth, he has a chronic.
Yeah, my friend has a chronic
cough. Like,
he's just chronic. Period.
Like, yeah. So, but like a lot of people are like, oh well, if you're in the service industry, you can't come into sick, like if you're sick, and so if you cough or you sneeze, like there's differences between allergies and having like chronic cough that is you're related, like asthma related or whatever.
Completely. Yeah, I know.
How do you prove that you have, like, let's say you have asthma? Like when I grew up, I had really bad asthma until I was like 12. So if I have really bad asthma and I'm coughing and wheezing, and someone starts attacking me saying, "Oh, you have COVID," don't be in here. It's like, no, like I have asthma. Oh yeah, sure you do. And it's like, well, I do. So like, how do I?
There's a lot of that going on too. Like people not wearing masks. Like that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't really call people out for not wearing a mask, but you never know what their condition is. Like, and I've heard so many different things. Like, oh, don't do that because the person could have, something, but. But then also they say, well, if they do, they should be wearing masks. Like if they have.
You've seen those videos where people are wearing masks and they still put an O2 stat on their finger, and they're still like 98% oxygen. So it's like,
if you have asthma, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I mean, it might in certain.
What's that, Tara?
Surgeons have been wearing masks under hot lights, doing open heart surgeries for 14, 15 hours. I don't really, this whole like medical reason to not wear a mask. I mean, I find it very hard to believe because.
Yeah, me too.
How have surgeons been able to do it for as long as they have? And at the end of the day, like, I mean, I thought it was funny. I was having a hard time in Costco. I didn't want to go. And Dave was like, oh, come with me. Okay, fine. There's the guilt of like your partner doing everything while you're sitting at home because you're scared.
Yes. Actually, you've been very careful.
But I was really scared. And people were wearing masks that their nose wasn't covered. One older gentleman had the mask scrunched up in between his nose and his mouth. So his nose and then I was like, why isn't anyone enforcing this? Like, if it's a policy that you have to be wearing a mask, I think it means wearing a mask properly. But then I realized it's not fair to the employees in that establishment to have to interact with these people who are probably going to get irate or violent
Well, of
or
course.
angry or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're not being paid enough to be the mask police. And like,
No.
I mean, the amount of people even just pulling them down because they can't breathe. And I mean, at one point when I was walking in, I was finding it hard to breathe. And what I realized was I was just panicking myself. And
Yeah.
I was my breathing was getting erratic. And
Yeah.
so that's why it wasn't the mask that was making it hard to breathe. It was the anxiety of myself, like having anxiety.
Yeah, completely.
You know, so
Well, and a couple of cases, like a couple of COVID cases in Costco, and the whole place is shut down. You know, like they'll have to like. So yeah, I don't. People aren't getting it. Like they're just. Yeah.
No.
Well, even like you said earlier, Duff, that like in Asian cultures, it's just a part of culture that you wear a mask. So like Tara was saying, how, you know, like heart surgeons wear masks for 14 hours, and a lot of Asian culture have been wearing masks for centuries. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden now someone, when they want to go to no frills, they can't have a mask on for, you know, 8-10 minutes, half an hour. Like,
well, that actually is a very good. So I've heard people say that. Well, like, well, would you prefer when you have surgery that your surgeon doesn't wear a mask? When you know,
yeah.
Would you like that?
Dentists? What about
Yeah,
dentists?
or
Dentists have been
dentists will just
masked
breathe
while
all
they're
over
in, like-
you. You don't care?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You should put
Yeah.
those people in those situations, like, you know. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, have you guys been okay though recently during this whole dealio? Where are you at? Like, it's kind of like a holding pattern right now, right?
Yeah,
Everyone kind of
definitely.
went like this, and now we're sort of like.
As much as I
It's
mean,
like-
I'd love to get back to work. It's still a bit of a scary environment. I've heard stories of, you know, old coworkers getting coughed on, sneezed on, spat on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is not fun, but I mean, if it's not there, I would like to be working. But
Yeah.
you know, it's been nice. I've been going up north a bit, and we went on a couple of, you know, little staycations where we can. But
Yeah, good. Sorry, I
Oh,
was reading Leanne's comment.
COPD.
She said she checked
Crappy
she
oxygen.
checked with the O2 monitor and levels never changed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. That's like a
I seems
first-hand
very
experience.
psychological to not wear a mask. So
Yeah.
go on, Tavo. You're kind of
Sorry,
torn about
yeah.
working or not working.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm hoping so. We have our union holds monthly Zoom meetings. So I mean, we're waiting for our new one now. But I mean, hopefully with stage 3, and if kids are going to be sent back to work, then or kids will be sent back to school and stuff, then we'll need more. I just think that even just with, like, there's a Walmart by me at Runnymede in St. Clair, and I took the bus there just because I still have my free bus pass to go to Walmart. And taking the bus back at 2 p.m, the bus was absolutely packed. Like, every seat was full. People were standing, and I've seen on like Twitter and stuff, people posting saying how like buses are overloaded. So I think in order to, you know, promote social distancing, they need to hopefully get more buses on the road. Yeah, I mean, the subways are at only like 20%, so the subways are pretty fine. But the buses, at, you know, like when I was still working during COVID, I did a Eglinton West night bus from Yonge and Egg to the airport it was like 4:30 in the morning, and by the time I got out to like Renforth, the bus was loaded. Packed.
Really?
Because, like, well, I guess people that work in factories or whatever, like,
Yeah.
they have to go to work. They don't have the resources to buy a car or to
They
pay
lost
for an
the
Uber.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, so like to be able to provide for their family, they have to get to work.
Yeah.
And to get to work, they have to take a bus.
Right.
And when service got reduced to being a bus every half hour, it's like either I miss this bus or I lose my job. So it's like,
Yeah.
people are kind of in a really
So they
tough
haven't
position.
adjusted the transit to now the need, right? That everyone's starting, especially now that stage 3 is happening. Like, they need to bring you back. They need to add more buses so that things. Yeah. Otherwise, this is going to get worse, right? Otherwise, it's like then we fucked
And
ourselves.
I think the TTC is safer actually than getting into an Uber or a cab that you don't
I
know
think
when
so
it's
too.
cleaned. There's more contact with the TTC. At least there's less contact that you
Yeah.
physically have to make. And with
Yeah.
masks being mandatory, I actually think the TTC is safer. Now, with that said, I haven't gone in the TTC in 5 months, but
Yeah.
I have my
Well, they
own
actually even
car and
now
I haven't been working, right? So
they've
Yeah.
installed hand sanitizers at pretty much every station, and they're
And they
starting
hand
to
out
put them
masks.
on and hand out masks, and even they're starting to put them on buses and streetcars. Have big pumps, and I was actually on the
Good.
subway the other day at Young and Shepherd,
Yeah.
and they have a hand sanitizer pump, and you can either pump it with your hand or there's a foot pedal, and you can just foot pedal sanitizer, so that's like totally contactless.
Contactless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
really important. And I've only experienced maybe one day, and I take the subway quite often because I'll bike down and then take the subway home. And I actually have only experienced one day where it was packed, like the subway.
Yeah.
But most of the time, there's like scatters of people, and there's lots of space, like lots of room for 6-foot distancing. You know?
And you're at Young and Egg, right, Duff?
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw actually a post on one of our work Facebook groups that there's actually a PPE vending machine at the entrance on the southwest corner of Young and Egg. When
Yeah.
you walk in and you go down the stairs,
Yeah.
there's an actual PPE like vending machine. You can get
There is.
sanitizer and spray and masks and.
There's one at Davisville too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remembered that. I was like, what the hell is it? I thought it was like Cheesecake Factory.
I feel
But
like that's
yeah.
going to be. They're going to be getting rid of the Doritos machines and replacing them with hand sanitizer.
And then people who want alcohol will be drinking the hand sanitizer.
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Probably.
Especially now that a lot of breweries and stuff are actually making sanitizer themselves too. So
Oh, are they? Oh, I
a lot
didn't
of
know
a
that.
lot of distilleries, like out by me, there's a Great Lakes Brewing beside the Costco that I'm at, and they've converted some of their distilling tanks to making hand sanitizer. And there's some
Amazing.
distilleries out in Niagara that instead of making vodka, they're making hand sanitizer. And
That's
actually,
Spirit
smart.
of York.
yeah, even
Oh.
in
Spirit of
some
York is doing it.
somewhere down in Distillery too is actually making.
Well, yeah, there certainly is like a lot of hand sanitizer around. There's no shortage of that. That's for sure. Holy crap. It's been like,
Well, there's a lot of unfortunately things that are also like I feel we're going back to being harmful to the environment, disposable masks.
plastics.
Like even when I was at the zoo, there's masks all over the floor. It's disgusting and
That's
plastic and like just the amount. I mean, I watched a woman cross the street, fiddle with her mask. It fell down. She looked at it and then decided to keep walking.
Just
not
left
I'm
it.
glad. I mean,
picking up the mask. And
this is
Yeah.
Ooh,
Marissa's,
that
but
was nice.
this is Marissa's, but my mom's made
Oh.
us like she ordered all this elastic, and my mom just makes us tons and tons of
Yeah.
reusable
Good.
masks. Just throw them in the wash. She's
It's
got
amazing.
she's got little nose wires, so it's
Oh yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? My friend makes them, and he said he takes, you know, the end of the cookie when you buy cookies like Oreos, and there's that
Yeah.
plastic.
Oh yeah,
wiry thing?
Yeah.
He puts that in his mask,
No,
and then
oh, it makes
I
sense.
think it's brilliant, and it doesn't rust because it's covered with plastic, like
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
little
Yeah.
fixums, right? But elastic apparently is like sold out everywhere. You can't buy elastic.
Well, I know my mom ordered
That's
this on Amazon, and then it was like a month past the delivery date. So my dad just emailed back saying like, it's been like he realized that post is delayed, but he's like, it was a month or two past,
Right.
and they just full reimbursement, and then like
Oh.
a couple days later, this spool like this big of this elastic showed up. So now she has like a couple 100 feet of elastic. So I mean.
Now, does she put filters in them, or is just the cloth?
So she doesn't put filters in, but she has a flap, and you can put a filter
buy,
in
right.
if you. Well, I mean, when I was
That's
still
what
at
I got.
work with TTC, they gave us some reusable ones, but apparently you can just put like a coffee filter.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know if it's scientific. Like, don't quote me if it's scientific or not, but I've heard that just like putting a coffee filter in that little slit,
Yeah.
I guess better than nothing. Or even like a piece of paper towel, or even my mom even made some just like fabric. She just like took some more fabric and made it like 3-4 layers thick,
Yeah.
and just to have something more.
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. Yeah, you could buy at drugstores like PharmaSave. You can buy little filters. They're little you know, and they just disposable ones. They keep putting them in.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
putting
like,
them.
when I went to Costco, one of the times they were actually handing out the blue disposable masks, and I have to say, it sucks that they're disposable. But like when I wear ones that are this material, my face is like sweating in no time. But those blue ones, I wish that we could find some kind of a material that's like in between, because those ones are really thick, but the medical ones you kind of keep cool. But it's like you wear it once and it's in the trash, so it's not really economical.
So do you think it's bad? Like, because I have the blue ones and I just spray alcohol and reuse them. But do you think that's bad, you guys?
I think you could probably use them a few times. Like anything you would see. I personally think anything you'd see wear and tear. Like in North America, we're just so easy to like make everything disposable. But like, it's like a shirt. How many times do you wear it? And then if it has some hole, then you get rid of it, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I think North America is pretty quick to dispose of things that are totally fine. You know what I mean?
The virus dies. I heard that UV kills the virus, and it dies after a few days anyway. So as long as it's sterile, right? And you know, you can put a UV light over it and make sure it's like, I don't know. I think the disposable thing is just getting a bit out of control.
Well, like all these restaurants they're going back to plastic takeout containers, and like Toronto's typical, like a perfect example of let's support restaurants because it's a dying industry right now. But then we're supporting also the environmental waste of plastic packaging again, of like takeout. And like, I mean, we were at somewhere and they're using plastic cups, and I mean we haven't gone out much. We went out a couple of times when we went to visit some friends in Blue Mountain who were already in like past stage 2, and like even so we went to this winery and they gave us glasses and we're like, okay, you can take these glasses home with you, but they didn't rinse them. They didn't give you water on the table to rinse. The whole idea was to have a wine tasting, and they didn't even have water to rinse the glass. So we started with a red and we switched to white. And
so it was a rosé. It was a make yourself rosé wine.
Now, being in the industry for as long as the three of us have been, I don't think you'd ever say this, but so the server pours the wine, and also it was barely a sip. So I get a tasting, but like at least I want to taste it a couple times if I'm sitting on your patio. Like,
for sure.
And I mean, that's what I was just having was wine.
And the glasses they gave you, were they glass?
The waiter. So then she pours it, and she goes, as you might be able to see, the color was a really nice white color, but it's not anymore. And we're like. And we're
like, dude,
people. So we're sitting there stunned
at a winery.
But it would be like a nice color. But I guess it's changed. And I wanted to say no shit, because you put white wine in a glass that had red in it.
When I've usually gone to wine tastings, they have like a row. Like if you're getting like a 10 types of wine, they have 10 glasses set up in front of you.
Because of COVID, they didn't want to touch the glass, and they wanted you to take the glass.
I
see.
Is
branded.
We don't want any part of your COVID lips.
Yeah, but then you leave the place with a dirty glass.
That's amazing.
Wow. I mean, like I used to live in northern BC, and apparently up there, like restaurants were open, but people were complaining on these Facebook pages because the dine-in restaurants were serving meals on paper plates. Because they didn't want to have to subject their dishwashers to having to potentially come in contact with, contaminated cutlery and stuff. So you go to this nice fancy Italian restaurant, get a, $80 meal, and it's going to come to you on like a paper Dixie cup or Dixie plate with a plastic fork and knife.
Because there are
my issue
disposable.
So for also people that have been in the industry as long as we have, we were never protected, nor are we protected from COVID. I worked with a bartender that got hepatitis from clearing dishes from a regular that had hepatitis. From any kind of transmittable anything.
Yeah. Or any liability, like.
Do you remember? You remember Primrose? she always wore black latex gloves when she was clearing,
Yes.
but she was the only one. But I feel like there should have been more kind of,
Well, here's my thing about gloves is though, Tavo, is that I actually think it's better if you wash your hands every 5 minutes every time you come in contact with gloves. You don't know what you're touching, you can't feel it, and then you could touch your face with something on it. And but actually, that specific comment, somebody questioned me, why is she allowed to wear those gloves? And I said, this was before COVID, and I said, well, if she's doing what she feels like protecting her sanitary herself, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I don't take offense to it. Like it's her, what she feels is giving her an extra layer of protection. Now, when we were still working and Toronto didn't actually like shut us down yet, I had said to all the staff, like, you can wear gloves, but I think it's actually more protective to yourself to wash your hands. Now, some of the places we work, there is not that option, right? I mean, how many places?
That's true.
We know a venue on the third floor that you can't wash your hands as much as you would if there's a working sink right by you, or you know. So
I always have hand sanitizer in my pocket. Like
like when COVID came out, they were saying that they almost, I feel like either Ontario or the federal government said that by wearing gloves, if you go into, let's say, No Frills and you pick up a can of soup and you say, oh no, I don't want that, and you put it down, and you have COVID on your glove, and then you're touching the debit machine and the doorknob and the subway and money, and you're spreading it. So if you just scrub your hands, wash your hands, sanitize your hands.
Yeah. Some people said they wear them because they like to just be aware to not touch their face. If they have gloves on, they won't touch their face, which I understand. But then as long as you're washing like with soap and water, your gloved hands, like.
Well, I actually saw a couple of TTC operators when I was still working when it first came out, and they would, because you quite often have at least 2 shifts. You can be driving at least 2 buses, and they would have rubber gloves on, and you'd see them in between their shifts putting Purell on their gloves and wiping their gloves. And it's like, why don't you just use your bare hands and just clean your bare hands and not have to throw out these, sort of disposable plastic gloves there and to create more waste.
So much. Yeah. COVID's not going to get in through your fingernail. Through the wrinkles in your hand.
I went to the zoo the other day, and I was actually impressed, like how their measures, they were really were trying to make where they could possible one-way traffic, and there was tons of hand sanitizers. There's a bee around me.
Don't get bit.
Bee.
I thought I heard that was I heard that it was a complete like one-way. Like you could only go one way.
There's some areas they couldn't. Like there are some areas it has to be 2-way traffic, but they have tons of hand sanitizer. They have, it is actually done. The bathrooms are all, so no matter the size of the bathroom, they only want one person in the bathroom, and then you have to wait for that person to exit. And so I guess so there's less contact. So it was actually well done. But I mean, I worked 2 events so far, and my opinion of them is varying, but the second event I worked, I felt very unsafe. The 25 of the guests were not wearing masks indoors, and I was told that they didn't have to because they worked together, which I don't believe is a rule. I think that's making up rules.
And
last
you're
I checked, your bubble was 10, not 25.
But you're there though for your safety. Right.
And then I was also told that, if the mask impedes doing your job, then you don't have to wear it. And at one point, one guest actually was not yelling at me, but raising his voice closer than 6 feet. And he was angry that there wasn't 3 glasses on the table, but there was 3 glasses on the table. And even when I moved the glasses,
it's like a sit down served meal.
No, it was an auction. I want to be careful what I say, but
exactly.
Yeah, and what
those damn Royal Bank.
Just kidding. What shocked me most was how rude and nasty they were to me. And I've worked for these people before, and they're usually rude and
But
not
you're
nice.
putting yourself at
But-
risk being
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah, and
have some
after
respect
4
for
months
you.
of like staying home and
Yeah.
protecting myself from not getting COVID, I
Yeah.
was putting myself in danger. And like they were honestly, their behavior was disgusting. And I thought, like, out of all this, you think people would maybe be kinder, compassionate, like be nicer to each
Oh, for
other.
sure.
And
No,
I was
people are
just so
nasty.
appalled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And then
horrible.
like making up rules. And then the client I was dealing with told me, oh, they will not want you touching anything. And if you're touching anything, you should be wearing gloves. And I just said, okay. And also, so Dave has bought face shields for us to wear because it's much easier to communicate. It's much easier to breathe. And like we are in a business where it is about presentation,
Yeah.
and
Oh, of course.
that, like, talking to somebody like this is very hard to communicate.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, I brought a mask as well. And, I mean, people have their opinions. I went with the side of making the client happy, and she told me she didn't want the face shield. She wanted a mask. So no problem. I wore the mask, but then they were all not wearing masks. And I was like, wait, this is a little
Seems a little bit
bizarre.
counterproductive.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I've heard contrary things about the shield too, because the air gets underneath and like
Well,
you're stopping the spitting, but like it's still you're still like at risk.
Yeah.
I thought that they said
And I
that the
mean, you could
shields
wear
were
the
more
face
of like
shield
a
and
either
both. You
or.
could wear a mask.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
I thought
You
that they
could wear
said
the
you should.
face shield with a mask.
yeah.
Did
But
Dave get?
it is like, I mean, you are sweating and it is tough to work. Like the first event I worked in a house, and like same thing, like I was in a mask, but it was their own bubble of 10 people.
Right.
And it was very challenging to do the job. Like it is, our
Ah.
job is already challenging, which people don't understand.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, as for washing dishes, the client didn't want her glasses to go into the dishwasher. And there were some like little crystal cups with gold on them. Like I wouldn't put those in my dishwasher.
No, you
So I
shouldn't.
washed them.
Yeah.
But Dave was like, well, you shouldn't have washed them because it's not safe. But we would never leave somebody's house in
With a mess.
disarray or
Yeah.
with dirty dishes. So what is
But-
the solution? Like there
But
is no
dish
solution.
detergent kills the virus right away.
Exactly. I
Like,
mean, at one
it's a
point,
simple
the chef
thing.
didn't even know. Like, I was washing my hands pretty much, I'd say probably every 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
at one point, the chef was blocking the sink, and he's like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "To wash my hands."
Oh my
And he's
God.
like, "You just did." And I was like, "I don't care. I'm gonna
You
wash
should-
them again."
You should have bear sprayed him. Get away from it. Sink. I need at the
So-
sink. Mace.
I just want to wash the hands. So yeah,
Well,
but I mean, even the after effects, like, I mean, I had really bad anxiety for 2 days after, going, did I catch COVID? Like, I don't know. Like I was in a situation where,
Go get
it's
tested
very
again.
nerve wracking,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
at the one party, one of the kids, he was a teenager, sneezed, and the chef's eyes was like, and he's like, I'm scared. I'm like,
Well,
I'm scared
hey,
too.
and then bam, everyone's like, that's all it takes is one sneeze,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Are
And
you
like,
Every
even
article I read about like these 14 people at a house party, I think it was in the States, but that didn't believe in masks and didn't believe COVID was real. And out of that party, everybody got sick. One person died and one person's in intensive care. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What does it take? Have you guys been tested?
I haven't. I thought about after like the 2 parties working about going to get tested. And
Yeah.
I still have thought about like, if it would be good to be tested on a regular basis, like weekly
Yeah.
or bi-weekly. Yeah. And the thing is, you could get tested and come into contact with COVID the next day,
I know.
and then get
exactly.
a result saying you're negative.
Yeah.
and,
Or you could have had it and
know-
recovered already and you didn't even know it, right?
Well, yeah, like Duff said earlier. Like, I mean, I feel like, because what I agreed with before was the government said that if you have any symptoms, then you should be tested. But then they opened it up to anyone. And I mean, I feel like, yeah, if you feel like you want to be tested, then I mean, go for it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
wasting resources, but whatever. I guess it's your right as a citizen. You want to be tested, that's great. But like, you go to get tested, and then on your way home you might get it. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you feel the symptoms, then I think maybe you should get tested and then isolate until you get the results and then go from there. But I mean, because even like with the upcoming flu season,
Yeah.
like I have allergies to, you know, pollen and dust and hay fever and stuff. So I might sneeze and cough and say, oh, no, you know, it's just allergies. But what if it's not? I think it's
Yeah.
allergies, but
But
maybe
that's-
I've
I think the
actually
challenge
contracted the
is all.
virus.
I will say I went and got tested like a few days ago, and I actually found it quite empowering finding out that I was negative. Like I found that I just was being responsible, and I felt like, okay, at least now I can move forward, and I'm not. I'd always had this in my head of like maybe I'm asymptomatic and I'm passing it on to people, and I had this sort of guilt. But then again, then once like what Tara said, once you're tested, you're still back to square one of like, oh God, maybe I got it in the elevator,
Yeah.
and then you're back to where.
I think being cautious of like what you're doing and like where you're going and like I mean, I have a friend's birthday tomorrow and she wants to go to patio. I have zero interest in going to Toronto patios right now. But
Yeah.
at the same time, there's 4 of us. It's her birthday. She's already down about her birthday. So, you know, I already told her like I'm a little bit nervous. And she was like, well, if we're uncomfortable, we'll just leave. And
Yeah.
I think it's about being responsible and like, you know, and I think people that work in the service industry, we're already used to washing our hands often and being
Yeah.
cautious and being proactive. And I do think we're lucky in Canada though that you can get tested for free and like that you know,
Yeah,
as Tavo
we're very
said,
lucky
if you do
because
feel any symptoms or
yeah.
if you want to make it into your routine that once a week you get tested, like, you know, I think that's important that you're able to do that in Canada for free. We're very
For sure.
fortunate
Guys,
that's available.
I'm gonna bring in my friend Don, who is in New York, and he's a flight attendant. And he's gonna join us. If you guys have to go, feel free to. But
I actually have to go. I have
okay.
to actually get it's like 2:45, and I gotta cut my lawn and my neighbor's lawn. So
Dave's lawn.
I told him, yeah, Dave's not gonna do it. So yeah, I told him earlier today, like when I woke up at 9, that I was gonna cut his lawn and mine. So
tell the other
great seeing
Dave
you
I'll
guys.
be over.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
I miss you guys.
Bye.
Stay safe.
You too.
I love you.
Okay. I love you too.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, babe. Are you staying, Tavo?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, we're gonna switch over to Dawn, who kind of looks like Tara. It's apples and oranges.
I've been waiting in the green room for like 20 minutes.
I didn't even know I had a green room. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when I first came out, it was like you're backstage waiting for Duff to approve you to be in the show.
I know.
Duff's got like the giant finger button. He's like, "Well, will I let them in or not? Maybe not."
Evie, I left Evian cucumber water there. Did you have some of that?
No, and you just cut me off again.
Oh, sorry. You're frozen. Frozen girl.
Frozen. Hi, Tavo.
This is Dawn.
Hi, Don. How's it going?
Dawn's an American. And on that note, we'll just get rid of. Just kidding.
Ouch. I felt that.
Right. And we're done for the day. Thank you, everybody. So
next week.
Dawn, how are things in New York City?
Tavo and I could just leave the studio right now and just let you talk.
We can make our own show.
Yeah.
Well, you're both sort of in the like service kind of like transportation area. So this is interesting, like because you're both sort of like at risk. But Dawn's been flying this whole time, right?
Oh,
almost.
Nice.
Well, since May, I guess.
May.
I've got a couple of months off, and then I went back.
Can you hook up Tavo with a job?
Yeah. I mean, my dad used to work for Air Canada back in the day, but
oh, perfect. That's all you need. Will you work for $13 an hour? Yeah,
I'm now I'm a C4 or C5. So when I fly, I used to be a C2.
Oh,
so I used to get on like any flight, but now I get on like
every other flight,
if that even.
Well, there are no flights. So, oh, Dawn, are you frozen, or are you just doing that on purpose? Is he playing the statue game or is he actually frozen? I guess Don's frozen. So anyway, Tavo, it's just you and me now.
Uh-oh. All right.
I don't know what's
Oh.
now he's full on dark room.
We had a spinning wheel, but now he's gone.
So like being that he's now on 2 different devices. Wait a second. Oh, there you go. I thought you were playing that Frozen
Yay.
game, like the end of a TV series when the credits roll in the 70s. See, now I can't tell if he's actually doing it or not.
Is it that Manhattan Wi-Fi service?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, he's in Queens. It's even worse.
Oh,
Wow. Just
That
in my
was-
district.
that was
And
a little bit below the belt, eh?
Yeah.
Totally, eh?
Oh, and now Dust's gone.
Oh, we finally got rid of them. Good.
Finally.
So Don, what's been happening in COVID land in New York? Frankie on the 40th floor was seemed to think that things were getting to be a bit more normal, but are they?
Well, I don't go into the city much. I did go into the city the other day. I have to honestly say, though, lately, and maybe it's just me, but I can't go outside for more than 5 minutes because I fucking hate people.
Wow,
People are
Don.
ignorant. They're just ignorant. It just is
Well,
like,
that's kind of what this whole thing has brought out in people, like extreme kindness, like overdoing it, and then the other direction of like nastiness, like just nasty, telling people to fuck off and like
yeah, they give you side eyes because you're wearing a mask, and then if they're not wearing a mask, what I've started doing now.
Tava's gone now. Oh, yeah.
What I've been doing now is like if I see somebody coming and they're not wearing a mask, I literally I make the most obvious movement and I walk out onto the street and then come back onto the sidewalk.
That's a good way. That's like passive aggressive.
It's totally passive aggressive, and I give them the side eye at the same time. And of course, you have your mask on, and you look like the meanest motherfucker, right? You're just like.
I have to say, the whole eye thing is certainly something like that whole sort of like look of the like. Oops.
Is that your sperm towel?
That whole like the look of like like people, there's so much communication now with like the eyes. It's kind of surreal. Anyway, I'm sweating.
Besides that, everything is fine. People in general are trying their best, and there's restaurants that are open. The patios are open.
So has New York hit stage 3 yet?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
So there's still a lot of cases there.
Yeah, I
we
don't think
get-
it's as predominant as the rest of like California is really bad right now, and Texas and Florida and Phoenix, Arizona, So,
Right.
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not a very good gauge of it because I haven't been out and about. I literally like go to work, do my thing, come home, don't really leave the house except to get groceries.
Yeah.
Because people are kind of driving me crazy right now. And so I'm kind of trying to just stay clear.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I went like Mary says she lives in a tent. I actually like really enjoyed living in a tent for a week where it was just nothing, like everything stripped away, internet, and like I had to go somewhere to get on the internet and just like no people. When I get up, I would just have to deal with lighting a fire and eating. And it was like so simple, no like negative interactions with people like freaking out, right? Like there's so much stress of that. Like you can start your day really good and then all of a sudden one person, bam, sets you off, and then your whole day is like askew.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get away from that in the city because there's just so many people, right? So it's kind of like, how do you
Especially
get away from it?
Yeah.
But
Are the subways packed there, or like are people?
It's not super packed, but I honestly haven't been traveling to the city at like peak hours, so I don't even know.
What about so your airline? Does your airline do you travel on the bus to go to work, or do they have a special shuttle for you?
I travel on the bus.
Oh,
The bus or the subway.
and has that been busy or like on the way to work?
Not too bad. Not
Hmm.
crazy. You know, I take the bus today. I have to go on the bus today. I'm sure it won't be that bad.
Yeah. Are they taking people's
I don't-
temperatures when they get on the plane?
No,
No.
but they do make us in certain places that we go. They take our temperature, but that's just a company thing, a company policy thing.
Huh.
It has nothing to do with the airport or anything like that. There's certain cities that are doing it, I guess, and some that aren't.
Right. Like
Sure.
probably the high case cities, right?
Yeah,
And are people like you have to wear a mask on the plane, right? If you're
yeah, it's mandatory now.
do you find that like some guests don't?
Well, it's very much. Hold on. Ooh. It's very much like, you know, it's like this.
Yeah. We
I'm
were
wearing
just
a
talking
mask.
about that. Yeah.
I'm wearing a mask.
Tara was
Yeah,
just talking about
I'm
it.
a cool guy. I'm real cool.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, I'm really cool.
You can't say I'm not wearing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wearing a mask, man.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
It's-
And like, yeah. And so you don't serve food though anymore on the plane?
No, certain flights we do. If it's over a certain amount of miles or time, we do serve, but it's all packaged. It's not.
Hmm.
It's not really.
So it's like a pre-packed thing. You just hand them and like with pincers,
They-
like
When
drop
they
it
come
on.
out of plane, when they come out of plane, we have a little baggie for them. It's got water, a sanitizing wipe, and a treat. A
Oh,
snack.
really? It's like Halloween. Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's your little.
We're wasting a lot of paper, actually.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about that. The waste, the plastics, and the like. None of that stuff that you serve is probably like biodegradable. Like our friends Tim and Elliot had a restaurant, and everything they had that was takeout was biodegradable. The containers, the fork and knife, you could actually throw into the recycling bin.
Mhm.
Where
Well,
is that? Where are these
We have
companies?
like, we're giving out paper bags, so they're recyclable, but people just throw them in the trash. They don't care.
Yeah, like who knows? Where.
Americans are the worst for that. They don't really give a shit about, like, they have recycling, but they don't really give a shit.
We're pretty bad too. Like we work in some big jobs and a lot of the garbage just all goes into one shit mess like sometimes, because they don't have the effort to do that. And in some provinces you actually have to pay to get your recycling processed. Like
Yeah.
in I think it's Saskatchewan, right? Like I don't
You
think
have
it's
to take it to a special place if you want to recycle.
yeah.
My
Right.
mom has to take all her cans and bottles and stuff to the recycling place.
Yeah.
Just pick it up.
And there's no like food waste. Like if it's
Like composting
yeah.
doesn't really exist. Well, in
Backyard.
some places in Canada, but not
yeah.
in general.
Yeah. Well, it's been interesting. I guess I should end this. We have 1 minute left.
I have to go anyway because I have to get to work.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to chat with you, and I scared everybody else out of your room.
I know it worked really well. No, that I'm really glad. Thanks for being my post co-host.
Post co-host.
Co-host.
Bella
I
says hi. Bella says hi.
was just gonna say that's your dog right back there.
Bella. Yeah.
I got nothing. I got a yellow bus.
Bella.
Well, I'm really glad you came on anyway. Thanks for coming on. And
Have a glorious day, and I will see you later.
okay, take care and have a good flight. And thanks for the info.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye, Donelda. That's Don, my best friend. He lives in New York and is a flight attendant for American Airlines. And his journey has been really interesting. Actually, episode number 1 of this show around the world with Duff is with Don when he was living or staying in Nashville as COVID hit. So if you want to watch the progression of how things have come from then till now, That was almost, I guess, 2.5 months ago. So really interesting. If you want to go back and watch that episode with Don, he and I had a good conversation about how things were going then and how things are now, as you can see. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in to Leanne and MB and Mary and Tara and Tavo, and who else came in today to say hi. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone tuning in. On Tuesday, I'm going to try and keep this going, my friends. I'm going to try and keep it going. On Tuesday, I'm going to try and have my friend Michael Gabriel, who's an incredible musician. We're going to have music. I'm going to start to have some music on here. And he has released a number of albums. He's an actor as well. He's found his place in the U.S. He toured all over Canada, as a self-taught guitarist and singer-songwriter, and he played all across Canada. He actually did the Via Rail. Via Rail was hiring musicians to go across Canada and play on their trains, and he did that a couple of times, I think, and also played every chapters in Indigo across Canada, and they hired him to do that. So I'm really interested to talk to him. He's now living in New Mexico on the Rio Grande. He's living, much like Mary, in an RV. He just upgraded from a regular camper that was like, I don't know what you call them, that you put on the back of the truck. He's now got a fifth wheeler. So a 5-wheeler. He's upgraded to that, and he's living in the 5-wheeler. And I actually envy him. He is literally kind of off the grid. And so he's got his American status and has actually started to do film and television down there. And things are starting to ramp up in film and TV. So super interested to talk to him. He had some really, I had a little pre-interview with him the other day. And so he'll be on my show on Tuesday, hopefully at 1 p.m. If not, then look out for Michael Gabriel as my next guest. So I hope everyone has a great end of the long weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, socially distance, wear a mask. Don't listen to what anyone says. If you feel you're in an unsafe environment, extract yourself and leave. We have to take care of ourselves as well as others still. And I mean, I know it's hard. I've bitched at people and told them to F off too, but we'll try and be nice to each other. Yeah, that's all we can do. You know, it's a roller coaster ride, and that's understandable. This is the weirdest fucking time for all of us. So take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the show. Get my finale here happening. And we'll see you on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Around the World. Somebody's saying something here. Oh, Frankie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Frankie. Frankie was on. Sorry. Thanks for being our guest, Frankie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I really appreciate you coming on. And next time we'll have you on longer. I didn't really plan this today. It was just sort of like off the cuff, having everyone on. So I really appreciate you coming on. Okay, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy the view. Whatever view that is. Love you guys.